Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Stapleford. I was born in 1945 to Theola and Gordon Inch.
All right. Describe the area where you grew up in.
I primarily grew up in Port Huron Township, where I lived at several different addresses because my parents were in the house building business. And it seemed every time my mom would just get settled in and get all new curtains on the windows and the furniture in place, a customer would come for a meeting wanting a house built. They'd fall in love with our house and give my mom and dad an offer and say, we want this house. And so we would move in to one of the unfinished houses being built. And it was amazing. My folks were beautiful Christian parents. They never argued. They were just so in love. And they never made all of the moves seem discouraging or upsetting to them. And they were always encouraging to my brothers and I, and made the moves seem easy when, now that I know what they must have gone through, I wonder how they ever survived it. My upbringing was marvelous. We were always happy and having fun. And it seemed that we never sat down to dinner where there wasn't one or two extra young people sitting at the table for dinner. My mom never knew how many she was going to be feeding, so she always fixed extra.
All right. What was your childhood like?
Well, as I was saying, our childhood was just so joyful. We always were busy. Our parents took us places with them all the time. They never left us, hardly ever. And we had friends everywhere. We'd play baseball in the fields next to our house, different places. And there was always a field where you could play baseball. And the kids would always, after school, get out, and we'd just get big feed bags from when we fed the horses their seed. We would fill the bags with sand, and those were our bases. And we had the best time after school going out and playing ball. And I remember going to the orchards and picking apples every year, and my mom and her sisters and my grandma, they'd all be canning hundreds of cans of different wonderful foods to last us throughout the winter. I got along well with my brothers. They were younger than I am, and I was the go-between between them, because you know how little boys can be with one another and as brothers. And it just was a joyful time. And we grew up with having animals. We had cats and kittens and dogs and rabbits and horses. And we just had the greatest time.
All right. And what was your school like?
My schooling was great. Most of it, like I say, was in Port Huron Township. My first 2 years were in Sparlingville, where my mother and dad owned their first business as a gas station owners. And I went to the Sparlingville school, and one of my fondest memories of that school was we had a maypole in the playground. And for those of you who don't know what a maypole is, it's a very tall pole with chains hanging down with triangular shaped handles, and you hold on to the handles and start, and usually it was, I believe, 8 to 10 children could grab a handle, and we'd start running in a circle until we were flying off the ground in the air and just squealing and hollering and having the time of our lives. And from there, I went to Nisqually.